Hello, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Leo. Alright guys, we're going to pull out your 3 romance angel messages for the week. Then we're going to get right into your animal spirits, and then we'll pull out your forecast for the week. And this is going to be for January 19th to the 25th. And don't forget to check the placements of your rising sign, your moon sign, your Venus. Those can also be areas in which you may resonate with readings. If your Venus is in another sign, you know, if your Venus is in Cancer, you might want to check out the Cancer video just to see if that resonates with your situation. Alright guys, so your 3 romance, starting with worth waiting for, Leo. Very nice. Engagement. So higher level of commitment in your relationships, and finances and career. Finances and career is definitely a card that comes up a lot for my readings. For the weeklies or the monthlies, a lot of times finances, career will come up. So we won't really know much about that. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? Worth waiting for, engagement, and finances and career affecting your love life. Let's just check out your animal spirits and see what extra energies you may be coming across this week. You know, animal spirits can be people that you're dealing with, right? They can represent sort of personality types or characteristics of a type of person you might be dealing with closely. They can represent energies that are becoming available to you, right? A feeling or an energy that you're kind of suddenly feeling inside of yourself that's helping you through a certain situation, right? Or it can indicate a change in your life path. So let's just see, Leo. And just take it as it resonates. If it doesn't apply to you, right, that's fine. It's not for you. Not all readings are for all people. First out is the bee. All right, the bee comes out oftentimes for this first position. It came out for the last reading, I think, but it was in the other position. The rabbit. Wow. Rabbit's been showing up quite a lot for the weekly so far. And we have the tiger. Wow, fire. So air, earth, and fire. Let's get right into those before we move on. So the bee. The bee is an air element animal spirit, and the bee is one of these creatures that just brings an immense amount of creativity to everything that it does. It's also an intensely hard worker, right? This is someone who really puts their all into everything. This is someone also who really is a delight to have as a friend. So if you have someone like this in your life, this is someone who's always going to sort of make sure you're doing all right. They always want to sort of check in on you. They're there for you. You know, if you're doing a project, they're there to help you with the project. They're always there with good ideas, and they're there to actually physically work. The bee also represents democracy because bees live in colonies, right? And so every worker is valuable. And so this is a real sort of feeling of like a person who is just a delight to be around, right? A strong, supportive person. Now, we have the rabbit, which is earth energy. And the rabbit is interesting. The rabbit is very frightened, right? Very worried, anxious, frightened, always sort of bemoaning its fate, always expecting the worst to happen, right? He's a real pessimist in a lot of ways, but he's also just really anxious and scared all the time that something's going to go wrong or something's going to sort of, you know, mess with its plans or mess with it or gobble it up, you know. But it's very symbolic when we're talking about, obviously we don't feel like we're going to be eaten, but you know what I mean? It's this feeling of life sort of, you know, overwhelming you, right? Sometimes, and this is rabbit energy, right? And oftentimes you can feel quite frozen in this energy, you know, because you just feel so overwhelmed by everything that's going on around you. And so that's you know, when we say feeling very frightened, there's different ways, right? And feeling overwhelmed is a form of sort of fear and just sort of apprehension and anxiety also. And in any case, if you're resonating with this or you're dealing with someone who's resonating with this, it's always time to just try to take a step back. What you want to do is gain perspective, right? So you want to begin to see sort of the bigger picture and get a more realistic view on what's happening around you, so you can see that, begin to put everything in its place. Certainly take a break from what you're doing so that you can come back down to a more comfortable level, right? Now the tiger is a fire element, and it's interesting that the rabbit is really associated with a lot of fear and angst, while the tiger is the card for overcoming fear. The tiger is very strong feminine energy. It's moon energy in a lot of ways. It's lunar energy. The tiger is sort of very sensual. He comes out at night, oftentimes the tiger, hunts in the dark, right? So it's like this feeling of really trusting its intuition, trusting its extrasensory perception, its ability to sort of trust its steps, right? And so this is confronting fear in a lot of ways by having trust in yourself, right? By trusting in your intuitive ability and by trusting in your own sort of capabilities, right? You overcome fear, right? Because you know you can handle it. You trust yourself to handle it. And so this is tiger energy that's coming in for you. So it's interesting that both of those cards would be represented. Could very well be that the situation is quite overwhelming to you right now, but you are being able to draw on the courage of the tiger energy coming to you. That energy becoming available to it to face it head on in a way, right? So let's pull out your spreads for this week, Leo. So we can see what you may or may not be going through. And again, just take what applies to you, resonates with you. All right, straight out we have 10 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. Interesting. So some of you coming into the week with a 10 of Cups, so this is definitely a radiating up of commitment, right? A resonating up of commitment, but certainly in a very sort of celebratory way. This could indefinitely be an engagement. Some of you may be getting engaged. Someone may ask you to marry them. Let me just bring this down a little bit so you can see the other ones as well. It's really, everything is resonating up. The commitment level has increased between you and somebody in your life, right? And it's very nice indeed, Leo. This is beautiful. And so you may have been asked to get married yet last week, or it could be coming in this week. But in any case, this week is when you're celebrating, right? For some of you. So this is quite a distinctive reading, quite specific for just maybe one or two Leos out there. Knight of Pentacles is coming in. And even if you're not getting engaged, right, you're certainly committing to a higher level. So you may be moving in, you may be introducing someone to your family, but this is definitely a completion. So there is, this connection has definitely resonated to a level of commitment where it is going to be now for the foreseeable future, right? It's a sort of a permanent sort of relationship for quite some time. Now, the Knight of Pentacles comes in for you this week. This is the energy you meet. And that's quite interesting because it's almost as if an opportunity sort of comes into you a little bit. It could also be that now that you have solidified and committed to this relationship or to this connection here, the celebration, part of it is your ability to now sort of move forward with a particular career idea in some way, right? You have this goal now. It's almost as if, I have my family. Now this is my major goal that I'm going to set out on, because the Knight of Pentacles, once he does set out, he doesn't stop until he reaches his goal. And these goals can be lifelong, right? Or they can be very long. So of course, one does not necessarily dismiss the other, or does not make space for the other. This coming together of family is a great support to you in this goal, right? This celebration here is giving you a lot of stability. And so in a lot of ways, for those of you, this is a great time to go off on pursuit of this goal. And it's going to be something, in your career, your business. You may decide now to finally open up that business that you've been thinking about. Interestingly enough, you round out the week with a Queen of Cups, and someone I feel like is going to be very sensitive to you and want to help you through this. It feels like a feminine energy. It could be a parent or a relative. It could be a very good friend, but it's someone in any case who feels very nurturing towards you, and they want to be supportive. This Queen of Cups is interesting because here you have your completion and your union. So this Queen of Cups energy seems to be outside of that, and it feels very sort of not necessarily a romantic connection, because of course you have your romantic connection here, but it is still a connection of deep sort of sensitive and supportive love. And this is why I feel like this could very well be a relative or a good friend of yours who has always sort of played perhaps even a motherly role or sort of a matriarchal role in your life, and she's there to support you in your endeavor to support your family, because this could be a very young and new family. But in any case, she's there to support you as you move on with your goal here, and also with your new connection here, which seems to be a very special commitment. The Devil, the Tower, and the Seven of Swords. Wow, some of you are coming in this week with Devil energy, right? And the Devil energy is really a lot to do with being sort of in a dysfunctional situation, a codependent situation. You may be battling addiction, right? You're in some situation that is really keeping you sort of enslaved in some way. Whether it is to sort of a routine or a dysfunctional way of interacting with a partner, which is one of those vicious cycles, we talk about, like breaking up, getting it together, breaking up, getting it together, and always having this very destructive cycle. That's what we talk about, codependent and dysfunctional, just depending on someone in an unhealthy way. You're coming into the week with this kind of energy right now, like you're dealing with a lot of this. It could be that you are trying to get out of this situation, right? Or it could be that you're recognizing it, because, for Devil energy to come into the reading like this, there is a sense of, understanding and recognizing that this is sort of the energy that you're in, or the situation that you're in, and you get a Tower moment this week, and I think you perhaps find a way out of it, right? It could be that you've been trying to get out of a dysfunctional connection with someone, or with someone who's very toxic, right? Who's also been sort of pulling you down this very self-destructive road. But this week there's this huge understanding that comes in for you, right? And it's a Tower moment. So I wonder if you find out something this week about this connection that you never knew, right? Clearly, because it's a Tower moment, but it's something that you maybe never expected. Like an example would be, say for instance, you have been in a relationship with someone, and you're both very codependent, and maybe you both have addictions that you've been dealing with, or toxicity or healing that you've been dealing with. In any case, you're very sort of codependent, and you've talked about sort of you perhaps getting yourself some help, right? Or more additional therapy or something like that. And your partner seems to sort of support you in that. And then you find out that they haven't been. Then you find out that all the things they said they would do to support you, they never did. If they said they would fill out a form, or if they said they would contact somebody, or if they said, whatever, supportive things they may have said to you when they were talking to you about it, you just find out this week that none of that was true, or that they really didn't put any effort into it. And furthermore, by the end of the week, there's the Seven of Swords, and some of you will be finding out that in fact they've really been actively sort of maybe working against it. This can happen when you're in a connection with somebody who's really toxic, and it's like, even when they pretend, even when they say they're supporting you, they could be so toxic that behind the scenes they're not supporting you. They may even be trying to sabotage you behind the scenes in a way. And this is a tower moment that you're having this week. There's some kind of huge awareness, awakening, and understanding is coming in as a result of an event. So, something happens, you may find something, you may, just happen onto some information, or you may just run into somebody that gives you some information that suddenly clues you in on something, or, whatever it is, it generally is a fairly specific event that leads to an understanding of some kind. And generally, a tower moment is sort of when we realize that everything we believed was happening about a particular situation, or the opinion that we had of somebody was based on some kind of falsehood, it was completely wrong, or we see it from a completely different side. And then Seven of Swords is a card for treachery. It's futility also. It can be the card for futility, but I think here we're talking more of the treacherous side of Seven of Swords. This is somebody who would sort of really, this is like the thief in the night. This is oftentimes somebody very close to you also. And the example I gave earlier was just an example, but that's what I'm talking about. There's some kind of energy here that is a very, toxic energy to begin with, that you're dealing with in some kind of way, and yet you find out this week that whatever efforts you have been trying to make to get out of it or to get better have been secretly sabotaged by either a friend or by your partner. It's a real heavy awakening this week, and it's a case of sort of facing up to a lot of fears also with this tiger energy coming in. It'll be, you'll have energy that will help you sort of get through this. Ace of Cups, Six of Wands, and Knight of Swords. So some of you are coming into the week with a new love, right? You're coming in with a new opportunity for a really strong love connection of some kind, right? And you're met with a Six of Wands also, and there's a real feeling of victory. This is all kind of coming in at once. It could be that you're having a promotion at work, or it could be that you've reached some goal on the way to your, like manifesting your ultimate dreams, right? But we have goals along the way. It could be that you successfully achieved one of your goals, right? Or one of the stages towards an objective. And everybody sees you. Six of Wands talks about a very public kind of victory, right? It talks about a victory that everyone can see in some way. They can see you're doing better, or sometimes it can even indicate an actual banquet, or if you win an award, or if you're winning something at work, like a promotion, you know what I mean? Something that people around you see you winning. It can also just be a sense or a feeling that you have in your life of having won at something, or having succeeded at something, and just generally having this kind of energy about you, and then people are like, hey, how you doing, Leah? Wow, you look great. You look like you're doing so well. That's sometimes that can happen a lot when you're resonating up and you're feeling good and confident and you're achieving at least stages along the way in your goal. You do resonate with that energy. And in any case, this is a really nice week for you. You round the week off with a Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is a really sort of kind of a go-getter sort of attitude in terms of a lot more ideas are going to come to you. I think this confidence coming in and this connection, this energy from this new love connection here, which is really nice. It has a really nice potential, right? It's in the very infancy stages, but it has really nice potential. All of this energy is making you sort of think a lot clearer about the steps you need to take, right, to achieve what your goals right now. Because the Knight of Swords is, he's at a higher stage in terms of being able to sort of find solutions to obstacles. You know what I mean? He's really, now you're thinking very clearly. If you had obstacles perhaps in your career or your business or in whatever passion you're following here, maybe there were some hoops you had to jump through and you weren't quite sure what the best solution is. Right now, all of this positive self-confidence is increasing your ability to suddenly say, oh, Now I got the idea. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. And it starts getting clearer and clearer. And the clarity comes in, and you really sort of are very aggressive now about going forward, right? And progressing forward. This is a nice booster week for some of you Leos. Certainly with regard to your career, your business, your life, or whatever it is you're passionate about that you're doing for your life. This is a really strong week for self-confidence, especially sort of piggybacking on this new love connection. All right, guys, this is your reading, January 19th to the 20th. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share if you did. Leave me a comment in the comment section. I do reply to them. And for right now, check out your other readings also there in the description. But for now, have a wonderful week, Leo, and I'll see you next week for your weekly. Bye-bye.